Well, hello, seventh grade. I hope that you felt good about your test on chapter 15. Hopefully, you studied for that and you didn't find it to be too difficult. Your grades, you should already know your grades, but they'll also be posted on RenWeb soon. So now we are moving on to chapter 16. Now, chapter 16 is a continuation of the study of invertebrates. In this particular chapter, we're going to be looking at mollusks, arthropods, and echinoderms. Those are the three types. So join me on page 283. Page 283. Let's look at this introduction. The three phyla represented in this chapter might be best described as living fortresses, often having their own portable shields. These invertebrates appear impenetrable. Add to that the possession of stingers, pinchers, and spines, and you end up with some of the best armored animals. Though such creatures may seldom find their way into your diet, these phyla do figure in your survival as pollinators, pests, and food sources for other organisms. These animals are key links in the web of life. Every creature plays a role in God's design of the earth, from ants to zebra musks. All right, now flip with me over on page 284. We want to look first at the mollusk. Mollusks are animals such as clams, snails, slugs, and octopuses. And since biologists have grouped these animals together, they must have some characteristics in common. Think about what you know about clams, snails, and slugs and octopuses. Can you think of any common characteristics? Hmm. The phylum Mollusca is quite important. It's the animal phylum with the second highest number of species, and this makes it very significant in the environment. Some of these animals are particularly important to man. We use them for food, for instance, clams, oysters, and scallops, and even squid, snails, and octopus. Have you ever eaten any of those? I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of eating mollusks, but some people do. We make things from them: pearls, mother of pearl buttons, and they are sometimes serious pests or carriers of parasites. Some slugs are garden pests, and some snails harbor human liver flukes. In this section, you will learn about mollusks by studying two representatives of the group, the octopus and the clam. All right, so we're going to embark on chapter 16 and this set of invertebrates. Now, let me present my screen to you. I want to zoom in on mollusks and what they are and how they're structured. Okay, let me close these out and make this full screen. All right, mollusks. Here we go. So, these mollusks, like this garden snail, well, it's just one of over 150,000 different mollusks that we have today. It's a Callisteostoma, a top snail. And, ever since God created these, they have just been amazing creatures inching around under a protective shell. Look at that guy. So it's amazing to look at how God created so many variations of this body plan that mollusks share. And they face a world of attackers, hungry for their protein-rich, sweet-tasting flesh. I'm going to stop it right there for a second. I want you to notice something with the shape here. You notice how this has sort of a round shape. Okay. And some of these others may have a different shape, but they're also often kind of flimsy. All right, so let me get to this other part I want to show you. 1 second. Right here. Okay. Well, this, let's see, pick up right here. All right, this is what I want you to see. Look at the inside of that. All right. You've recognized that probably. Some people like to sit those in their bathrooms as decoration, but that's an example of a mollusk. The leafy hornmouth has 3 well-placed ridges along its shell. And those ridges add just enough thickness to foil a crab's attempts to get a shell-breaking grip. But since no shell provides perfect safety, some mollusks have another method of defense. They have the means to outrun their enemies. Look at this guy go. An abalone spends most of his life clamped to rocks. But when escape is necessary, its muscular foot sets out across the bottom, and the foot is a biomechanical wonder. With no bones for support, it can stretch out to crawl while holding on at the same time. The abalone employs its foot when a dangerous adversary is close by, such as the many-armed predatory sea star Pycna podea. The abalone could clamp itself down, but then it would face the slow, suffocating torture of its death grip. So the abalone, using just one foot, attempts to outrun the podea, which has more than 10,000 tube feet, all moving with lockstep deliberation. The struggle for life. And because the animal's foot is attached to its shell, it can twist with a powerful torque and wrench itself free when its pursuer catches up. But competition has driven other mollusks to turn this defensive tool into a weapon that kills. Where cockles are abundant, they attract the attention of a more aggressive mollusk, the moon snail, and it can inflate its foot to 4 times the size of its entire shell, a foot that serves as both a burrowing tool and a predatory weapon. The cockle, however, has a few tricks of its own. Its foot is a powerful digger, but can it also kick away forcefully when danger approaches. If the moon snail loses its hold, it can also burrow down and surprise a buried cockle. Like slow-moving warfare. This time, the aggressor succeeds. The moon snail's enormous foot begins to smother the hapless cockle. Even a hard shell can't stop the well-equipped moon snail, which can drill right through to feed on the animal within. Wow. Sort of looks like the Death Star there, doesn't it? The need to procure a meal is a driving force in nature's arms race, and mollusks were created with an astonishing variety of feeding tools for the job. Peering inside an abalone mouth, we can see one of God's brilliant and bizarre creations. It's called a radula, a rasping ribbon of teeth like a chainsaw blade. In some mollusks, these teeth contain a hard iron mineral that grants them supreme durability. This electron micrograph of the abalone is a radula. Shows why it's so adept at tearing through kelp. Other mollusks also have radula suited for different tastes. This one opens barnacle shells. This one can scrape through animal flesh. The compulsion to eat and to avoid being eaten demonstrates lots of ways this war happens among bottom dwellers confined to the seafloor. Here we see a mollusk with the ability to swim by floating off the bottom. Another amazing weapon to deploy in the survival game. It looks like a buoyant battleship. At its head, a mass of 90 or more muscular tentacles can extend from sheaths to seize its prey. Nautiloids have a way to swim by jet propulsion. Water is taken in and rapidly forced out of a funnel that steers and propels the Nautilus. It's like a flexible exhaust pipe that also serves as a rudder. Every feature of the Nautilus design is an amazing creation and a demonstration of the intelligence of God. But what sets this mollusk apart is a key feature: buoyancy. Now you're familiar with this guy. The sharks. They are quicker and more agile, which greatly enhances their hunting skills. So sometimes these floating fortresses are outgunned. But mollusks have more tricks up their sleeve. One particular type of mollusk gains speed by forfeiting more and more of its heavy protective shell. In squid, only a thin remnant of shell remains on the animal inside. Now it provides support for a streamlined body that's a kind of natural rocket. Some squid are capable of accelerated bursts, traveling as fast as 20 miles per hour. Compared to mollusks, that makes them super swimmers. Instead of a jet propulsion system like nautiloids, sucking water into their body, then expelling it forcefully, instead, they have a mantle wall that's muscular and strong. And elastic fibers in the muscle intensify the recoil that expels the jet of water. Triggering this action at lightning speed is a nerve system wired with giant nerve fibers. And every squid is powered by 3 hearts, which can pump blood and deliver oxygen as fast as in humans. But not only do they have speed for evasive maneuvers, they can also go into the deep sea. These squids must survive the extraordinary rigors of the deep. They live in singularly creative ways. But another mollusk has gone even further, developing or having the most impressive weapon of all, intelligence, at least to a certain extent. Octopuses, they live on the bottom. It doesn't have a protective shell, which goes to show you all mollusks don't have protective shells. Sometimes these soft mollusks live without one. Instead, it uses the miracle of camouflage. It can change color and texture in an instant. For the mollusks without a shell, God has given them the ultimate skin. The poisonous blue-ringed octopus flashes its colors as a warning. Yet another brilliant design for this arms race. It's an amazing thing to see them change color and camouflage so quickly. Other animals have to reckon with the octopus, even this crab. This octopus equipped with intelligence, an awesome ability for disguise, and a devastating 8-armed attack. That's lunch. Do mollusks possess some secret weapon in the battle for survival? Simple truth is, they endure because their body plan is fitted, ingeniously designed by God to be able to survive in harsh environments, even in an ever-changing world. All right. Well, there you go. Some examples of mollusks that we want to look at. Let me go back to my face here, as you can see. All right. So that was just an introduction to this chapter 16, where we're going to look at other invertebrates, mollusks, arthropods, and echinoderms, starting off with mollusks. Okay. So that's just a quick overview. Let you see some video of different kinds of mollusks, some with shells, some without, where they live, what they eat, just in general. Now on Google Classroom, I'm going to have you do an assignment that's a tag on to chapter 15. Okay. I'll put the instructions for that in Google Classroom, but it is SA 155. Okay. SA 155. The instructions are on that sheet. They'll also be on Google Classroom. So there's that. So you're watching this video. You're going to do that review that I want you to do from chapter 15. And then the next time we meet, we're moving on to the first type of mollusk that we're really going to focus on. You'll find more about that, find out more about that then. All right, guys, have a happy Easter, and we'll see you next time.